Well, hello, beautiful people. How we doing today? We are back at it. We are on the book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn, and this is part 17. Oh my God, if you guys did not listen to part 16, go back and listen now because there is so much that if you just understand the concepts of don't wants and if onlys, and you guys know what I'm talking about for those of you guys that listen, how powerful that is, and to recognize and just to make those little shifts because we're self-defeating ourselves before we even put ourselves out there. And so this is going to be all about, this particular part is going to be all about, understanding that concept, and then even more, and why the law of attraction is now you'll finally understand what the law of attraction is and how to use it to your advantage. So I am so excited. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let me just go ahead and get this set up because we are in for a treat. So just give me 1 second. Here we go. Boom, there it is. And let's just go ahead and start the audio.
There's more.
There's more.
There's another problem. Remember the tuning forks where you ding one in a room and all others of a matching frequency ding right along too?
Yeah.
The same thing happens with our thoughts. As you think more and more about something, you're not only attracting more of whatever it is you're thinking about, you're dinging and pulling in anything else that just happens to be on a similar frequency. The results could be anywhere from a bad case of flu to being fired, when what you were really thinking about was how you didn't have enough money to fix the roof. Now, all of a sudden, you're getting these cute little surprise packages of the same vibration, but not the same thing, as your don't want, and just as unwelcome. By thinking about one, you're sending out an open invitation to anything else that happens to be pinging on the same frequency.
Mm.
If it's a vibratory match, it can be yours, whether you were focused on it or not. Didn't you ever notice that when one thing starts to go wrong, so does everything else?
Yeah.
That's because the vibrations you're sending out are matching up with all sorts of different stuff on the same wavelength. By your thinking about that one thing over and over again, you're creating a spiral of thought that has now been made considerably bigger, with heaven knows what else swirling around in its magnetic center and headed your way. For instance, think long enough about how you dislike your job, and you end up having a fender bender. Your sink stops up, you lose your keys, your refrigerator blows out, and you stub your toe. All from thinking over and over about just one don't want, your job, which, by the way, is now a whole lot worse than it was before. Don't wants can be huge or trivial, but either way, when we're focused on one or 101, we've got negative currents streaming out of us that are most definitely not going to magnetize back anything even remotely close to joy. They can't. They're on a vastly different frequency. And so, around and around we go, existing. That's all. Just existing. Holding ourselves apart from the higher energies of bubbly well being, which is our true state and our absolute, irrefutable right.
Hmm.
Two things are certain. One, think long enough about something you don't want, and either you're going to attract it or it's going to attract you. And two, think about a don't want with any amount of feeling behind it, and you will automatically attract other lousy happenings of a similar frequency.
Hmm.
In sync or out. So, what do we do about all that? How do we change it? We surely can't watch every little thing we say or do or think all day long.
Right.
Don't worry, it's not that tough. All we need to do is go back to our magic genie, feelings, and learn to identify how it feels to flow this kind of energy or that kind, and learn to recognize when we're feeling down or up, bad or good, zoned out with no feeling, or really happy. But let's back up here for a minute to vibrations. Everything in the universe responds to vibrations. It is law. And with us here on this planet, that means touch, smell, color, taste, hearing, and emotions.
Mm.
When we feel joy or passion or love or any other kind of exquisite happiness, those feelings are our interpretations of particular kinds of vibrations. On the flip side, when we feel feelings of anxiety or guilt or resentment, they too are interpretations of vibrations. And don't forget why one kind feels better than the other. One is close to our source, the other is not. We each are physical extensions of much, much more than what we see, extensions of a much more vast non physical being, our source energy that just happens to be expressing itself right now in a human body. When we vibrate in sync with that energy, we feel good, and vice versa. When we feel down, it's because we are vibrating out of sync with that pure positive energy. Don't wants mean we are out of sync. As we look at something and say, I don't want this, two things happen. First, there's no way that don't want can possibly go away because we're holding it in our vibration by our very attention to it. And second, we feel bad, down, low, nothing at all, or any other kind of feeling that is anything but happiness.
Right.
And so, the more in sync we are with our source energy, the better we feel. And the more out of sync with our source energy we are, the worse we feel. Or, let's put it another way. Feeling good is natural, but not normal to us right now. Anything less than that is unnatural and sadly, quite normal to us right now.
Hmm.
But beware. Our primary problem with negative emotion is that we rarely think we have it. Yet if we were flowing the high frequency of joy all the time, rather than any lower vibration, which joy is not, we would be overflowing in such a profusion of prosperity, affluence, and success, not to mention sublime happiness, perfect health, and well being, that none of this would matter. So here's the scoop on this state we call normal, which for about 99% of the time is nothing but negative vibration. Negative vibration of any kind, of any intensity, from any excuse, means we've cut ourselves off from life.
Mhm.
We're existing, but not living. Big difference. Negative vibrations mean we've shut ourselves off from our source. Negative vibrations occur when we refuse to allow ourselves to think about what makes us happy. Negative vibrations come from living with don't wants, and that's the only place they come from. Negative vibrations mean we've slammed the door shut to our toy store. Not one of our heartfelt desires can ever manifest through the slow vibrations of don't wants. They are part of a different frequency called joy, so they stay away from us, way away, until summoned from the higher vibrations of feel good. It's that simple. Our wants are only in sync with the high vibrations of our inner being, expanded self, not with our negative vibrations. Because they will bring us pleasure, in whatever degree, the only vibration they match is that of our original intent, to be in joy. We cannot be thinking about what we don't want and expect to get what we do want. That's like trying to mix oil and water. Mixing low frequencies with high frequencies will never happen. One will always override the other, depending on which is more dominant at the time. Even feeling moderately concerned, sort of our life story, shuts the door to abundance and well being, which is our God given birthright. So basically, we've been defeating our own purpose all along.
Hmm.
Thinking it was important to be concerned about everything like the bills, the kids, grandma, the world situation, what we've been doing is generating this constant flow of low frequency energy to withhold most of what we desire for ourselves, for others, and yes, for the world.
All right.
Hooray for negative.
We're going to stop
Here's another way
there.
to look at it. Any
Okay. Sorry about that. All right, let's get back here. Oh my goodness. This is interesting. So, yeah, going deeper into and understanding, yeah, and we've all done this, right? I mean, who can relate? Comment down below. I mean, where you want something, but yet you're trying to think realistically. You're trying to think logically, in that sense, right? And those are all safe words. Those are where that even comes from. If you think about it, is really just from our past experiences. And all there she's trying to say in a nutshell really is we need to be focusing on the present, right? You don't bring in the past until you think about the past, right? The forward thinking is the only way to be thinking. So it's the minute that we start thinking about, oh, I want to make $100,000, right? But I've never made that before. I'm not sure if I could, right? So all the negative starts to pull into that 100,000. When if you just focus on the 100,000 and that's all you focus on, right? The $100,000 will come. And that's essentially what is being said. And this works with anything. But you have to first be aware. And that's why this is so important and why I'm just so happy that we're doing this, because this is a book that really simplifies the law of attraction. And for those who might think like, well, I already know this, I would strongly challenge you and tell you that unless you have everything that you want in life, you don't know this. And that's just a humbling experience that is going to take you a long way, right? Because you might have heard of this, you might have of dabbled in this before, but to be committed to it is where the power lies, right? And understanding that you're never going to fully get this and fully understand it because there's so much to learn. And if you look at your life and you're not happy, and I'm sure that most of you aren't, and no one wants to sit here and settle, right? There's always more things that we want. So this is an opportunity to keep growing. And sometimes simple is the best way to learn things. So I hope you guys are really enjoying this. I mean, just the simplicity of what she's saying. And I mean, she's just so amazing at how she writes. And it's only going to get better from here. So I hope you guys are really excited. If you guys haven't already, like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button because I will be posting these every day without fail, so that they're always there for you guys. And then this will be eventually put into a playlist. But this is stuff to really, really, really keep coming back to. So that's why I wanted to make it, more than 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So until next time, you guys make it a great day. Take care.